a 4-inch flush mount side hood. Here we are in beautiful Linwood, California at TJ's Metal. We are picking up raw material, sheets and solder, loading up with the help of Gustavo. Here are some of the tools we'll need to complete the job. First, we'll need the biggest stock size, which I believe is 6 1/4. Let's double check. Yup. 6 1/4. It is. The pattern consists of a back piece, face, damper and housing. The plaster ground and pipe aren't shown. Now that we have our stock size, we can cut a 10-foot strip. Okay, here it is. Now we put back the remaining piece back in its place. There we go. Now we need to work out the circumference of 4 inches, which is 12 5/8 plus 1/2 tab, making it 13 1/8. Scribing with a square 90 gives us a perfect line to cut. At this point, we scribe a 1/4 mark to create tabs to solder when it's time to put the pipe and back piece together. Now, it's time to roll this flat piece of metal into pipe. 'Cause you should already know. That's how we roll. Making 4 marks for tabs that are equally spaced out. Cut up to the line on 2 sides, which we'll give with the use of needle nose pliers. Making sure they are nice and flat, so when it comes time to solder, it will make a great bond. We'll continue to scribe and prick the rest of the patterns. It took lots of years to be able to cut right on the line, and luckily, we have that experience on our side. Every cut has to be precise to be considered one of our products. Here is the damper. It doesn't look like it now, but soon it will. This is one of my favorite parts of constructing a side hood because I get to punch a hole through metal. Nice. Getting that big chunk out of our way first. Reason being that cutting away from the scribe makes it easier to cut right on the scribe. Following the scribe all the way through until the end ensures the right size for the pipe. And here it is all ready to get bent up to become the back piece where the pipe will end up. Making sure the prick marks are in its place when bending is critical to maintain its shape and will keep it from being bent out of shape. This has become the plaster ground. We move over to the finger brake. Finishing off the housing. Always keeping a lookout so none of the other inserts get smashed, making sure the insert doesn't get smashed down so it doesn't give us any trouble when we put the face and back pieces together. We are ready for the soldering process. Making sure the iron is hot enough to not only melt the solder, but to sweat it through. Heat the metal to ensure a great bond. Here is the damper. Told ya. The face is inserted onto the housing, being gentle so that nothing bends or gets scratched up. All inserts are in place, giving it some love taps so that everything is nice and snug. Moving on to set in the plaster ground. Scribing a 1/2 inch mark to keep the plaster ground aligned. Now, we cut the plaster ground to be bent into the shape of the housing also, ensuring that the 1/4 parts coincide with each other to keep the professional look. Using 2 C-clamps to hold it together while we ensure everything lines up. Taking our time to do things right is very important to us. Wrapped all the way around. And ready to be soldered. Oh wait. There's an imperfection. Give that some love taps and boom, perfect. The muriatic acid doesn't only clean the metal but bonds the two metals. The solder and bonderized. Always make sure the iron is clean. We don't want dirty bonds. Finally, the last tab of the pipe gets soldered to the back piece. Can you see the solder go from liquid state to a solid state? And just like that, voila. There we have it. A 4-inch flush mount side hood. Safety first, then teamwork. Always make sure to clean up after yourself. Thank you for your time.
Bye.